All right, what's going on? I am Marshall President. I have Miss Topia Tessima
Mhm.
from Abaya Naturals. You know what I'm saying? Here doing this one-on-one on this Mother's Day weekend. I already
Mhm.
told you happy Mother's Day, but I want to say it again. You
Thank
know,
you.
you are appreciated. So the first thing I really want to know is who are you?
Well, my name is Topia Tsema, but it's funny where people that know me and have known me for years doing this soap thing, they call me the soap lady.
I
But I'm
saw the
more than
shirts.
that. But I am a handmade artisan. I make handmade plant-based body care products that work better than commercial brands because they actually are made mindfully and actually are good for your whole body, not just for your skin, but taking into account that whatever you put onto your skin goes into your system. So you gotta make sure you're using good stuff. So that's what I do. What else about me? That's why I mean I'm an artist. I'm a creative. I'm a mom.
Okay.
I'm Topia.
Okay. So all right. So what is Abaya Natural?
So Avia Naturals. Let me first preface this. Avia means is Hebrew. God is my father.
Okay.
Right. So everything that I do in terms of the business starts with God. That's the fact. Um, None of this would have been in existence if it wasn't for God. By trade, I'm not a soap maker. I was by trade. I'm a social worker. That's what I went to school for. So this is something that God kind of gave me the understanding how to work with herbs, how to work with this type of spiritual chemistry to make products that work. Um, so Abia Naturals is a body care company that I just am the hands, but the creator is the one who inspires everything. So it's something that really, when you use the products, you feel, yes, my work, but the work of the Most High and all the beautiful ingredients that He's given us to take care of our skincare and our body care needs. So Abia Naturals is more than just pushing products on you. It's more about understanding how nature can meet all of your needs. So welcome to Abia Naturals.
Okay. And you're based out of Pennsylvania?
Yes, Ardmore, Pennsylvania. So a little bit outside of the Philadelphia suburbs.
Okay. 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 So how did you get started doing what you're doing?
So as I started to say, as a kid, I was like allergic to so much stuff. I never thought I'd be where I am at now. So as someone who was mindful of that people have different needs, different allergies and whatnot, when I came across kind of tinkering with this years ago, before I became this, I said, well, let me see what about this, a better product. And also I was frustrated with some of the products that are technically for us,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't meet
Mm-hmm.
our skincare needs. Our skin was dry, the dryness, things that really didn't nourish our skin. So I started reading and studying about what plants and herbs work well for your skin and for your body. So rewind back to me being a social worker. I worked clinically with a lot of people who had a lot of emotional stuff going on, as we all do. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a shame a lot of my clients would take medications and whatnot, and they weren't helping. So I was just like, well, why don't you rub this lavender oil on me? You know, I mean, try this
Mm-hmm.
to calm you down. Different
Hey.
types of things to settle you. So it's
Mm-hmm.
fascinating to learn um, that there's things in nature that go beyond what the pharmaceutical industry is pushing on people. So
Yeah.
when this is where it came from, it was my therapy from people would. I worked in child welfare, and it was very stressful. People would be like, "Yo, you know, get a drink after work." I'm like, "No, I don't drink. I'll go. Excuse me, let me go and make something." So I came home and studied plants and things of that nature. So this was one of the things that helped me cope with the stress of the job. I did that for, oh my gosh, like 12 plus, several years. And then when my daughter came along, my mother was just like, now, you can't do this. That work is too dangerous. And I'm like, I got this.
You're
I can do
being
it.
protected.
Yeah, but God was like, no, you have to choose what you're supposed to do. So this was planted in my spirit. So I said, I just got to take a leap of faith and walk away from that profession and become a social worker in a different way. So my daughter's now 14. So I've been grinding, for lack of a better way to put it, that long since she was a baby,
That's what's up.
developing I'll Be a Natural. So,
That's what's up, man. I appreciate that story, like where you've come from. Like, what kind of obstacles have you dealt with in your
well,
journey?
it's with chat. There's so many things. Like initially, it was overwhelming. I hate to use this term, but I'm a single parent, so balancing motherhood and work, bizarre, and then finding and not losing your mind at the same time. So the thing that was interesting was that I had to balance out. I almost had to practice what I preach to a lot of my clients who I serve, because most of the
Mm-hmm.
population I served were women with children on their own. So I had to tell myself the same motivation that I gave to them. So when this entrepreneurship came, I said, "Oh my God, how am I going to do all this?" So the kind of the balancing of work and life was a struggle, and the finances, like the whole financial thing that people try to say in terms of starting a business, I didn't start up shiny like that. I, it was just basic, but it was beautiful. And I'm grateful for how I was brought up, because I understand how to take the difficult things and make them beautiful. And that's
That's a
how this
fact.
journey has been. So it wasn't a shiny startup. It was really just working to get what was needed to further develop this business. So I'd work my one job and put it into growing Abia Naturals. So it wasn't, it's just been a muscle journey, but I
Yeah,
love it because now I can inspire other people like me. Because
yeah.
you don't have to come from with that silver spoon in your mouth.
That's a fact. Look, I'm learning that as I just became my business just became an LLC this year, so
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
understanding that as well. Like working overtime and doing stuff that you wouldn't normally want to do, but it's like putting into what you love to do. So
Right, right.
I definitely get that. Like,
Hmm.
so what's some advice that you would give people that starting their own business? I mean, I could use this as well. You
Yeah, no, I gladly give it because I feel it, believe that's why God gave me this position, um, and I'm learning it just now, even after all this time. I think I'm finally getting it just on today, believe it or not.
know.
Is that you got to have faith, right? You have to have faith because there's so many things, and that's just not with business stuff, but with life. You can't see in our human eyes, we can't see it,
Right.
but He already knows what He's put you in the path for. So you can't let all the stuff that you might see discourage you and think like, oh, this is not going to happen. When you start feeling like that, then you have to realize that it's you thinking that you're doing it instead of understanding that the source is the one who
Right.
put you in this position. So my biggest thing I try to tell myself and others who are pursuing things, understand that if God gave you the vision for something, He's not going to leave you out there hanging. He's not going to
Yeah.
leave you out there because you're working for His purpose, not for you. Yes, it's He's the one that gave you the vision and the idea for something. So if you firmly believe that you're positioned in what you're doing, that's where you're going to go with it. So keep being persistent. Have faith, patience, because it's not an overnight. Like I hate to say it, social media will make you think it's going to be like a pretty process. It is not. It's tears. It's what I feel like things are falling apart, but they're coming together.
Yeah, and that's funny you said social media because that was going to be the next thing I was going to ask you about. Has social media influence, like, has it helped you? Has it hurt you? Has it really not done anything? Like, has it had any type of influence on what you're doing?
Um, at first, when I first started out, it to be, and I think it's normal for as a human tendency. You might look at other things and be like, "Dang, why does it look like? Why?" You get thinking it looks,
Mm-hmm.
but then you have to understand that's like a facade. So what you're seeing isn't, you don't see the backstory. So hence why I think my stance on social media, like how I take it now, and you see how I post, is more. motivational. It's not me just pushing the product. It's understanding the process. It's a process, understanding and speaking to people from a different space, not becoming that commercialized business that wants to just make money off of somebody. Because
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, there's a lot of that, and nobody's taking into account what's happening with people. So
Yeah.
social media is it's interesting. It's a love hate relationship we have. I love it because I connect with people. Like I wouldn't have met you
That's
if
a
I
fact.
wasn't on it. So you
That's a
have to
fact.
look at the good, and then also I use it as a platform. I want to study where the human behavior. I don't know if that's the worker, the clinical person in me, studying the human nature, how people process things. So
Mm.
it's weird, but you also can kind of get an understanding of what's happening in the world through it. So
Yeah, I enjoy your content. You have a very high vibration. Like every time I see you, like I feel a little bit better. You
oh,
know what I'm saying?
Rusty.
That's like you had an energy. Like I admit that. You know, that might be what drew me to you. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because it was always you was always upbeat and happy and smiling and like it didn't look fake to me. Like I can look at other
Oh,
people on here and see the fakeness, but it was like you look like you really enjoyed it. And I started watching the videos more, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's her.
yeah, and it's the truth because the thing is, my whole stance is we all have moments where we feel heavy, right?
Yeah.
But what does it good if I come up in here complaining about something? You know, you could come up here and be like, woe is me. If anything, what is it? As if from the spiritual stand, joy comes in the morning, right?
Right.
So you push that, and it's just like you're coming because every day you wake up, it's God saying, "I woke you up because there's something I want you to do." So why not be joyful? Don't look at all the world stuff that makes you feel overwhelmed because God's got you. So why not smile?
Yeah, I mean, I feel that way. I know a lot of my stuff is just a lot of just thinking and just talking about different situations and quotes, but it's like you want to give up, you want to give yourself. That's one thing I learned about this social media thing. When I first started, I did a lot of stuff for shock value, so it was
Yeah.
like I went viral a lot of times, but
Hmm.
it wasn't really me. It was just me
Yeah.
trying to get an algorithm. So then as time went by, I became myself. I still do stuff here and there. Like you see, my content is all over the place because I
Yeah,
believe
I love it though. I love it.
yeah, because I believe just because you feel as though you might be struggling with mental health or anything, I don't feel like that puts you in a certain box where you can't feel a certain kind of way. You can't be happy. You can't like you can feel all these things and still not really know what's going on. You just living in the moment.
Right.
So I feel like this stuff is a real good thing now. And so what is your plans in the next like 5 to 10 years? Like, are you? I know you're moving if you haven't already moved.
Listen, I am. You know what? I have moved. Praise the Lord. Can we just say
Yeah.
that on this
Yeah,
Sunday?
yeah. How about that? How
this,
about that?
this, the reason why I moved, and I started off back in before I should rewind the story. Um, I was a vendor, so I would do a lot of pop up events.
Okay.
People would meet me, be like, "Oh, the soap lady over here." Boom, that's when they come to find me. And I was fine with that. I was fine with that, but then there were people who be like, "Well, you have a store." I'm like, "No, this is my store. Shop, chill." I loved it. It worked. But then it got to. I said, "Well, maybe I should consider having a storefront." So eventually, I got to the point of having my first storefront, and I'm like, "Okay." It was small, and God has a way of working it that things don't fit work anymore. So it was almost like the sign that it's time to go.
Right.
So I'm like, oh man, all right, I'm not gonna pay any more than that. Me thinking again that not having the faith.
Right.
So when I moved to the next spot, I was like, oh God, can I afford this? You know what I mean? So I get to it, he made a way. And I'm like, all right, boy, okay, this might work. That thing, after years being in that space, things started getting shaky. People started revealing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Situations started being there because I was trying to do too much. And that's another thing. Sometimes you can't help other people that aren't really thinking about you. So I was
I'm
trying to
learning
help
that
other
now.
people pull coming up. I was thinking I was there to pull other people up, but then they weren't thinking about the one who was there trying to facilitate that type of environment. So that space didn't work out. So I was like, God, please. So I got another space closer to home because I was driving out far to go to this one. And I was like, oh, bet this is going to work because I'm close.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it. But then the expensiveness just started going up because, of course, everything's gone up price wise.
Right.
So it ended up being like, the landlord was doing well off of me, but I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
seeing the fruits of my labor. So, grateful to God that He got me out of that situation. So now I'm back for where I first started Albia Naturals at home. People would come to my home and shop. And when it's funny when you're younger, you think like, oh, the goal is like seeing it big. And I was just like, oh, store, store, store. But he said, Topia, have you ever read the book, The Alchemist?
No. I've heard
Great
of the book.
blend.
I've heard of the book.
I won't want to put the cat out of the bag, but the whole premise kind of is like the search. I don't want to tell you it because now I'm gonna force you to read.
I mean, I'm gonna end up reading it since you said it. I'm gonna end up reading it anyway.
But it's the whole search, like how you go searching for something so far, and then you end up your search brings you back to where you started,
Okay.
right?
Everything full circle.
Full circle. And the story kind of highlights this beautifully. So this is kind of like how this experience has been for me here. So I'm back at home. People were just like, oh, that's what's up. Because they remember when I used to sell like that. But I
Mm-hmm.
didn't think. So now it's just a peaceful space now. Just before you came on, I had a couple customers who were like, yes. They were like,
I wish I could have caught it.
but it's okay. Yeah, but I love it though, because it's like people like, oh, you want people to come up in your house? I'm like, listen, people have been. It's first off, I trust God, and secondly, I know what this is about. This is a labor of love, so ain't no
Right.
harm going to come forth because this is what I've been given this gift of this experience for several years. So yes, I have moved, and that's why I'm happily chilling here in my house, drinking my tea,
I know that's right. I know that's
and
right.
waiting for customers to come on Mother's Day.
Being a mom don't never stop. All right. Well, look, I definitely wanted to get you, and I wanted you to show some of the stores so people, they can
Mm-hmm.
get a little familiar, or some of the products, some of your best selling products, or whatever have you.
So I get what am I don't know how to flip the things. Do I do a
I mean,
flip?
you can just, I mean, you don't have to. If
Or
you
can
want,
I
look,
just be like this?
this is what I'm about
Can
to
you see?
do. Look, boom. I done gave you the
Oh,
whole.
okay,
There
okay,
you go. You
cool.
have the whole
So
boom.
this is the soap, and the people who came did leave some soap, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I have different oils, body oils that can be used for both hair and skin. I'm gonna show you one of this top seller, which I mean you might have seen me post a lot about. Triple Threat.
Yeah, I
People
believe I seen that one.
absolutely love this bar. So I have soap. I have body butters, whipped body
Okay.
butters made with
Okay.
shea and other plant-based ingredients. Um, I have my mother is a professional artist, so you
Oh,
also get the experience coming here of getting artwork.
oh, that's fire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So she has all types of work. One of my favorite pieces here. I love all her work. She was my inspiration. But look,
Yeah,
in
that. Mm.
ensuring, you know what I mean, that type of love. We need to know this, right?
Yeah, that is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Um, Jewelry we have. So different handmade jewelry. Also my mother,
Oh,
right?
so this is a whole family thing. Like the whole
Yeah, we,
family a
we
part of
we've
this.
been going in for several years.
Oh, y'all
We
all
have
talented.
books. Just because you see, I'm a big reader, so you can
Yeah.
come in and get some books. What else I have? I think that I show you most of it. Yeah,
Yeah. Just to
I
give
think
you
I did. But
show.
it's like if we just kind of peruse this way.
Yeah, that's what's up. That is what's up. That is what's
So
up. That
it's a
is what's up.
wonderful experience, and it's a little. I love it that people feel like they are at home when they come in.
I can imagine them feeling comfortable when they come in there and you smiling, and it's the whole energy within. I can imagine the energy inside of there once they step
Yeah,
in.
it's wonderful. They come and have a seat, and I'm like, okay. So it's funny. The lady who I love her, she came, and she's like, "You got any iced tea that you had at the other?" Because the last the last spot, I had this hibiscus tea. hibiscus lemonade tea. It was beautiful. So the weather's nice. So she was looking around like, she's like, you have the tea here yet? So I said, hold on, it's coming. Give me a
See,
couple of days.
you already know. Look, when they see you back, you already know what they want. You gotta have it on deck.
Exactly.
You gotta have it on deck. See, now look, this is pretty much it. Is there anything else that you might want to say? Like, you see what I'm saying? It's a quick one. You got a lot out.
I did. Hope I did. I hope I really wanted to be understood that people to know that I'm here, and I am a business owner, I don't hate to use that. Let me scratch that. A person in business who actually cares about their customers. It's beyond just me selling product, and it's about a whole experience to just enhance your life as opposed to just, you know. So I'm just grateful that for this platform to be able to share what we have, and everything's done with love, with the intention of glorifying God. That's what it is.
I know that's right. Like, I appreciate you and what you're doing. I'm hoping that this will help you, like, because I like what you're doing.
Thank you. And I have to say, your support's everything. I was like, look at him. So.
Yeah. I mean, like, I try my best. I know how it feels to not be supported. Yeah. So when I see people and like I say, it's always something about people that draw me to them. And once I'm drawn to them, I just want to help, or I just want to, do whatever I can do to play my part, because it don't cost nothing to support.
Yeah.
Like, it's simple.
Yeah. Now wait a minute. I got the soap lady has to ask you, what kind of soap are you using?
It's not handmade. It's body wash.
I do that too.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to.
I sure do. Don't make me change you over today.
I mean, look, I'll look into it. Like, I'm a supporter, so it's nothing. I'll look into it, because I use body washes. So if you got body washes,
I have all of it. So I mean, people were asked, this is a beautiful thing. When they ask me, like, Topia, listen, can you make this? So I'm like, I got you. So some people like bar soap, and then some people prefer body washes.
Yeah.
So I do. You didn't see it here, but upon request, I'll do it. And sometimes I have it out here, but when it comes out, it moves quick. People will stock up. Like, it's amazing to see. They'll stock up, and I'm grateful for that. So yes,
it gotta feel good to know that your work is being appreciated.
Yeah, I'm grateful for it, and I just hope ask God to continue to give me the strength to keep going.
Well, I mean, long as you stay on that path, that's what I've learned. If you trust the process and you stay on the path, everything comes to you. I'm seeing I'm seeing all of that now. Like, I'm not doing things for anything to come back to me, and blessings are coming to me.
Yeah.
So so I just gotta accept the blessings at times. Sometimes I don't want to.
The receiving, right?
Yeah. You never think about the receiving part.
That's a whole nother subject. That's deep when you don't really receive. When you have a problem receiving, it's just like, it's just deep. You gotta probe that a little bit deeper. You give, but then you don't open that receiving part.
Yeah, the people the people with me, they've been on me about it lately. So
yeah,
they're like, you gotta accept the gifts instead of always trying to give. And I'm working on it. I've started receiving.
You deserve it, Marcus.
I started receiving, so I'm just taking it one day at a time. I just appreciate. I appreciate everything. I'm blessed and I'm thankful. But I know you have work to do.
It's okay.
I told you it was a short time. This won't be the only time that me and you will talk or have another one of these. I'm sure something will be happening. I'll be looking, and I'll be like, so when do you have time to be able to do another one-on-one?
I make time. Look, what's beautiful? You know how I know God's in it? Didn't nobody ring that doorbell this whole time we were sitting here.
Yeah, I was.
We go off, watching what happened. If God held it, He said, no, don't come to Topia yet.
Yeah, I was trying to make sure I got it all in and get you out of the decent time, since I knew you were working. But
no time wasted.
Yeah, but I appreciate you, and thank you for being on here.
Thank you.
And I will see you soon.
All right.